Thank you. Thank you. It's a pleasure to have you here. And I know you have some precious knowledge to share with
Sure.
us. So, yeah, I'm excited. Um,
Absolutely.
Dr. Amir is the founder of Eat and Tact and a seasoned food scientist with over 25 years of academic and industrial experience in food science and technology. And I'll have you tell us some more about you. Please go ahead,
Ab-
Dr. Amir.
absolutely. Absolutely. Good morning, everyone. I hope you are doing well and being in the healthy situation as always. And I think it was 2 weeks ago, I decided to call myself a holistic food scientist. And I don't know if such a term actually exists or not, but because I saw a lot of discrepancy between what we are doing as a food scientist and holistic nutrition and how it should be. So I found a big contradiction between these two. So I'll explain about it. So I'm a food scientist, and after actually getting my PhD, we came to US for doing my postdoctoral research and working in a couple of big companies to get familiar with the product development a little bit further in the industrial scale. And after that, I just noticed that I can do much more if I actually work on my own. And on that time, I've been always obsessed with whole food concept. So the story of the business started with the day that I went to Whole Food actually to buy a couple of healthy bars for myself. And I went through the whole shelf, more than 100 products and different flavors. I took 1.5 hours to just go through them, and I ended up with a couple of them that were truly healthy. And then I asked myself that if it's going to be difficult for someone like me to find such a healthy food product that has experience, how about the health conscious people, holistic enthusiasts who are gonna actually find such a healthy food product? And I told myself that either they don't have enough actually information to go through the label and find what they need, or they don't have time. So we decided to put all the actually to collect a wide range of healthy food products in one online store to build the trust with the customer and tell them that you don't need to go through the labeling because it's passed through my filtration. So we can make sure that all the food product contains only whole food ingredients. And just start actually communication with the customer, getting the feedback from them, and at the same time for raising the awareness, creating content, and at the same and while I was doing that, I've been actually always thinking about how I can launch my first product based on the gap that we identify in the market. And so when I go through the literature and provide information how to, for example, identify truly healthy food products, I noticed that supplement industry is much, much worse. And there is no regulation from FDA. FDA doesn't have authority to actually step in for most of the cases. And assume that, think about it that way. So if someone actually make a decision to produce a supplement, and then they can follow some FDA rule for labeling and produce the product, and if that product actually makes someone sick, and if that sick person actually reported to FDA, on that time, FDA can actually step in to just see what's going on and do some inspection. So now we can imagine that how actually harmful it could be if you just take a supplement from the shelf and you have no idea what's going on behind the scene. And as I mentioned, if you're going to mix the concept of actually the supplement with whole food, it's really, there is no connection in this world of industry right now, supplement industry. So I was thinking that maybe I can expand the sharing the information about the industry, supplement industry, at the same time, see if we can find actually whole food. I stop here and then wait for Yoli's question. If at some point I'm going to discuss about what's going on in the supplemental industry, and how we think it should be, and how not me as a holistic actually enthusiast, and also based on the nutrition science, how it should be the product, and what we've done so far, and where we are, and what's the future, and how it looks like.
Awesome. I do have a few questions for you
Sure.
for all my guests. So I'll start with my first question. What inspired you to enter the field of food science, and how has your vision evolved since the founding of Eat Intact?
Yeah, that's a great question. So part of that was based on the force, because there is an entrance exam in Iran, my home country, to actually participate once a year, and then you can, based on the rating you have to select a major. So I was forced to actually to participate in food science and technology major, and after that I fell in love with that, and I told myself that I'm going to get the PhD of the food science. And during that time, because as I mentioned, the whole process of actually food science and technology is that you're going to make sure that you use the ingredient. No, it doesn't matter if it's whole or not. You're going to use different types of actually food ingredient, refined one, extracted one, to make a to make delicious food product without with the long shelf life. So most of the time we really don't care about the health aspect of that. And then I've been doing that for during my education time, but after knowing some process behind the food ingredient, I just fell in love with the process behind that, and then get more information, and I noticed that, oh my gosh, I have to be super careful, at least for myself and my family, right? And then I got obsessed with whole food concept, and then whenever I go to buy something, I go through the labeling. But the problem was that when you work in the food industry, you cannot think about anything else, because you are committed to do something based on what they want, and anything that you do in the food industry is going to be conflict of interest. But when I actually decided to work on my own, so that concept actually grew, and I just told myself that this is what I'm struggling with for the long time. Now let's do something different, because I noticed that a lot of people actually have the same perspective like me. They really want to have something better and healthy, but they can't, because the labeling is deceiving, and so marketing is just for actually making money. So when I actually started putting that online store together, and one day I told my wife that why we gonna actually limit ourselves for food, because we know that a skincare product is going to be even more sensitive, because whatever you eat is going to pass through your gastrointestinal tract, but whatever you use in your skin is going to actually get absorbed immediately. So our vision is like that in near future we're going to have actually a wide range of food, skincare product, cosmetic product, because none of them are healthy now. So if you can find people, like-minded people, to make a team, and then to have that commitment to widen a wide range of actually these products that every single day we are using, that's my actually dream in near future. And I see that trend. I'm in supply side east actually now. So this is one of the biggest place that you can find a lot of suppliers of ingredients. So always the request that I have from them is weird. For example, they do have different food ingredient, and they ask me. I ask them that, okay, do you have the whole food version of that? And that question is weird for them. They say it doesn't exist. And so here is the deal that we're gonna actually work together, that we can expand a wide range of actually product, and also much more importantly, raising the awareness, because our customer, our community deserve to have enough information to make a decision based upon that. What is really missing here is that, for example, a lot of companies are trying to actually deceive the customer by sugarcoating their synthetic supplement with actually something as a whole. So customer would pay double and triple because they need something healthy, but they don't know that whatever they are buying is not healthy. So I'm not going to go that rail, but short answer is that hopefully we can actually expand to a wide range of food products in near future, and that trend is growing.
Yeah, I absolutely agree with you. The labeling in the industry is very deceiving.
Yeah.
Yes. So my next question is on the health and food industry, the challenges. What do you see as the biggest challenges in the food industry today when it comes to creating truly healthy foods?
So the main challenge is that the first question is why a lot of food companies and food developers don't want to actually deal with whole food ingredients. So the main challenge is that taste and deliciousness of the food product is really key and is one of the main decision factors, right, among the consumers. Even most of the time, they prefer to be tasty and delicious versus actually healthy. So dealing with the whole food ingredient, because we've been actually developing technologies that can be used for refined version of food ingredients. Refined version meaning that, for example, if you're going to deal with whole wheat flour or you're going to deal with refined flour. So working with refined flour to make a tasty product is going to be much easier, and the shelf life is going to be longer, and the technical issue is going to be much less, right? And also it's going to be less expensive to deal with. So it's going to provide a higher profit margin for the product developer and the company, and the product is going to be tastier. And this is something that we actually grew up with. So as soon as you eat a bread that made out of actually whole wheat, because the texture is different, now you see the difference, and then you say, oh, what the heck was that, right? And I think everything should change at the same time. We have to change our culture. We have to change our concept in a way that this is what we have to take. And then now food developers like me and the whole food industry actually should take that challenge. We have to challenge ourselves to find a way to use whole food ingredient to make it delicious and food with long shelf life. That is really missing. And the only way that we can actually develop this kind of product is that we have to change our mindset, and we have to change the mindset of the whole culture of the community to provide and create that demand for food industry. On that time, when they see there is demand for that, they challenge themselves. But as long as we are happy with the refined bread and a lot of actually food product, 99% of food product that contain a lot of additives, colors, and other stuff that are delicious, but they are not healthy. As long as we are happy with that and then keep buying these products, I mean, that's going to be no-brainer why we have to change and challenge ourselves. We are selling the product and then we are getting profit, the maximum profit. Why we have to change it?
I'm so 100% in agreement with you. As a matter of fact, yesterday I did a post on finding a middle ground between health and taste. Yeah, and it can be done. I believe it can be done.
Yeah.
You know?
Nothing is impossible. Absolutely.
Exactly. Oh, wow. Amazing. All right. So my next question is the innovation of food science. Can you discuss one of the patented methods you've developed, what makes it revolutionary in the pursuit of healthier food products?
Yeah, absolutely. So when I was doing my postdoctoral research, one of the cool projects that I was doing was, again, it was like a functional beverage. So the question was that how we can incorporate something like vitamin E into the beverage, but again, the beverage should still stay actually transparent, because vitamin E is something like a honey in terms of the material and texture, but is not water soluble. So how we can actually incorporate it into the water to be stable and at the same time actually be transparent. So meaning that the particle size of that vitamin E that we're going to incorporate into the water should be small enough that we can't see it by eyes. So we use a nanotechnology actually to incorporate that. The technology was really great, and then we patented that. And it was from the collaboration between our group and PepsiCo company. And but this is a very cool technology, but the material that we used was food grade, but wasn't actually whole food. Now, if I'm going to go back and do that actually technology again, I'm going to challenge myself that how we can provide or find an ingredient that has emulsification properties. We can actually make transparent beverage that has high amount of vitamin E. So the second one was really even more interesting in terms of what we received from as feedback from the marketing. So I used to work on Oreo cookie. I think everyone is familiar with Oreo cookie. So I was using the same technology to reduce the fat content of the cream and replace it with the water particle. But so I was actually developing that technology, and then in the middle of the process, we received a message from marketing that, oh, our customer needs a thicker layer of actually cream in Oreo cookie. And I was asking myself that, so what the hell am I doing here, right? I'm trying to reduce the fat content of the cream, and at the same time, our customer needs thicker layer of cream, because that cream, although is not healthy, but still is delicious. So that's the point that I mentioned before. We need to change the demand, because if you don't have demand, if someone like me is going to do something for improving the health impact of the product, even the company doesn't let me continue that, because they're going to do everything for the customer, right?
Right.
Our customer actually has a wrong demand, but who cares? I mean, as long as we can meet that requirement, it's fine. Again, it should come back to the community and start with our culture and community, and changing the demand first, and then from there everything is gonna get done automatically.
Thank you for your insight on this. So, sustainability and ethics. How does Eat and Tech address ethically and sustainability concerns within its production processes?
That's a great question. So, you know, in the supplement industry, when you're going to deal with, so most of the time, let me go back a little bit to just give that background to the audience. So in supplement industry, whatever you see in the market, they are either synthetic or isolated, actually vitamins and minerals. And then mostly even if it's mentioned plant-based, it doesn't mean anything, because they start with the plant. But what they do is just extracting that, for example, a specific mineral or a specific vitamin, mostly through chemical extraction and solvent extraction. And then they make a crystallized form of that, and they mix it with something else into the capsule, and then give you as a finished product. So the way that the machine for encapsulation works, they need a flowable actually powder to just make sure that it's going to go to the capsule easily. So, for example, for our product that is only whole mushroom vitamin D, I've had a lot of pushback from the contract manufacturer that, oh, we cannot deal with only single ingredient, which I really want to have that single ingredient, because I see the value of that, and our customers see the value of that at the same time. So that's one of the challenges that I was talking about from the past conversation, that so I can actually easily select couple of chemical ingredients, such as, for example, magnesium stearate, silicon dioxide, and other chemical ingredients, is going to actually help the machine to work. So 9 out of actually 10 companies that I was talking to and requesting for helping me for actually making encapsulation of our single ingredient, which is only whole mushroom, they actually rejected me. And finally, one of them actually accepted to produce that. So that's the ethical part. So if you really want to stick with your belief and you see that this is going to be a valuable product for your customer, and this is the trend, although we don't see that much of that, but in near future we're going to hear more about it. So I decided not to actually deal with other ingredients in that capsule. And although it's challenging, even if if the current manufacturing company doesn't do it for me, I'm going to actually find another one. So that's the part that we have to challenge ourselves, because we see the value of that for the community. So if there is any, and as I mentioned, nothing is impossible, right? Just we need to actually work on it, maybe do a further product development to find a way, or at the same time, we can actually change the type of machine to work on that. That's one aspect. The other aspect, I think, is if we can actually deal with the organic material, that would be really important in terms of the sustainability, and of course the packaging part as well. But these two, we are committed to that, to deal with minimally processed ingredients and preferably whole food ingredients, at the same time organic. These are the sustainability part of our actually company.
That's
And product.
I wish we had a lot more people like you who think of ethics and the public, the health of the public. And that was your vitamin D supplement.
Yes.
Which I do take.
Sure.
And later on I want you to also share, where everyone can get this vitamin
Absolutely.
D.
Absolutely.
So yes, thank you. And based on your extensive experience, how have consumer preferences and food changed over the last decade? And how has Eat Intact adapted to these changes?
Sorry, I couldn't get the question.
How has Eat Intact adapted to the changes of consumer preferences and food change over the years?
Yeah. So Eat Intact is a new company, a new startup. And so I've been dealing with the customer for the last 1.5 years. I cannot go actually beyond that, but within that short period of experience with the customer, as I mentioned before, so the trend is there among actually the people who are obsessed with whole food concept, and they're gonna actually get more information about it. So the problem is that the people actually want to get information. Most of the time they go and get information through social media and influencers, and those people who doesn't have actually experience and scientific background regarding that, right? So someone like me, as a producer of the product, I can reach out to any influencer, right? If I have more money, I can actually give them that, okay, please talk about this product, and then I'll give you that amount of money. And then, for example, if that influencer has 1 million actually followers, right? So they're gonna fall in love, at least a percentage of that, those people are gonna fall in love with that concept without knowing what is going on behind the scene. So that's the issue that we have. So if a person fell in love already with a specific brand, so most of the time, even they don't want to get more information about the reality of that. Because if someone like me are going to talk about the reality, because since I'm affiliated with my own product, right? And so it's going to be, oh, he's going to sell another product. So it's really hard to actually find that connection with the customer, unless if you have an open mind, actually, if you are open mind and want to hear more, always you're going to explore more about it. So that's why when we have chance to talk to the customer, to face to face especially, and then tell them that, okay, I normally what I do, I don't start with the product. I start with, have you measured the level of vitamin D, for example, right? And then to just tell them that we are concerned about your level of vitamin D, which is really important, and a lot of people have deficiency of that. So, and also I tell them that if you haven't measured, you have to go, and then I wouldn't sell my product to you now, even if you want it now, because I make sure that what if you are highly deficient, that dosage doesn't work for you. So again, it's going to be finding the people who are willing to hear and find a connection with them. This is very important. That part of change is easy. But I noticed that a couple of people actually they are dealing with a big brand who is selling their vitamin D for over 20 years, right? So they are actually kind of they think that this is the best product. And my purpose is that to just provide and give them more information at the end, make a decision based on the new information, right? So I always keep telling everyone and all the health stores that I'm selling my product to them that nothing wrong with selling synthetic actually vitamins, because some people might prefer that. Let them do that. But we have to provide the full transparency for them, right? To just make sure that they do have enough information to make a decision. What is happening here is that someone told me that a short story I think is really interesting to be here. So I personally think that those people who buy actually supplement from CVS, these are the people I thought that I was like thinking that. So these are the people that they may not actually want to have healthier vitamins, because whatever literally you can find there is synthetic. Mm-hmm. And one of our customers actually gave me a great feedback, and he told me that, how you know that? I was like, explain to me. And he said, my wife is actually buying the stuff from CVS, but she thinks that this is the best product. But if she hears what you are talking now, she would definitely change her mind. So it was a really aha moment for me that I should actually change my mindset. Even a lot of people who are buying actually their supplement in CVS, because they don't have enough information, and it's still percentage of them, or maybe majority of them, if they actually get exposed to the transparency of the whole information, they might still actually change their mind. So for doing that change, again, is a matter of raising the awareness, which we are doing, and with someone like you, and then kindly helping me to convey that message to the wider range of the community. That's what we have to actually keep doing, and then providing that transparency and make sure that they are actually making a right decision based on the full information. It's not easy, and as I mentioned, that trend is growing. But I think the more we talk about it, and in terms of word of mouthing, and providing that transparency, definitely we're going to hear more about it in the near future.
Yes, it is, the trend is growing, and we do it. It's important to raise awareness. You are doing it, and I am doing it.
Absolutely.
Thank you. Where do you see the future of food science heading, particularly in relation to technology and personal health?
That's a good question. I think more and more we're going to incorporate a holistic approach and holistic concept into our food product. A lot of small startups are actually starting that, and the big companies don't want to take a risk. So they are happy with whatever they are selling now. But as soon as they see a startup companies who are successful and they are selling actually healthy food products, so they can come over, and I mean they can acquire them, right? This is the trend that we have. But for someone like me, I always promising myself that I wouldn't let that happen, because most of the time the big companies are trying to just buy that company who are growing and then just keep it aside, because they own it, and then they're going to keep it aside because it's conflicting with what they are selling, right? Yeah. And that vision that is clear from my side is going to actually get lost if I sell the company to someone else whose concern is to just sell the product and make the profit out of that, without actually thinking about the community and health aspect of that, and well-being of the community. So I think a lot of startups should be super careful in terms of what they believe and then what they start, and make sure that if they're going to sell their companies at some point, make sure that someone with the same or a like-minded people actually are going to continue the same journey. So I think that's my answer.
Yeah, I see your point, because I find that when original companies are sold, and along the way, its original values get lost.
Yeah.
And
I heard a lot from health stores that because they've been involved with that journey, right? So they used to buy the product, healthy food product, from a small company. They were happy with that, and then when the company actually get acquired with someone else, they didn't see the value. You see that, oh, they incorporate other ingredients which wasn't necessary, but as soon as you get in touch with the big companies, they're gonna actually have more profit, right? And because they are a public company and they have to make money to make their shareholders actually happy, so everything is gonna get involved. And I hope that we can have actually more independent and private companies in future to deal with healthy food products and grow it further.
Awesome. So in regards to nutritional misconceptions, what are some of the common misconceptions people have about health foods and supplements, and how do you combat these in your work?
Yeah. I mean, the only way to combat that is just raising the awareness. Again, the same concept, right? Just make sure. I'm gonna actually give you an example, which is actually applicable for food and supplements. So I don't know if you heard about. You're gonna see a lot of these ingredients, which is actually artificial flavoring and natural flavoring, or natural flavor and artificial flavor. So in the first impression, you think that, oh, artificial is not good, and natural flavor is good, right? So when you see natural flavor, you just perceive that, oh, this is natural, so I'm going to take it. So I'm going to give you the process behind that to just make sure that this is really deceiving. And FDA actually let the product developers to talk about it in that way, to provide that actually perception for the consumer to get deceived. So basically, a specific chemical structure is responsible for a specific actually flavor. For example, if you're going to take a flavor of banana, right? Based on the science behind that, we know that specific chemical structure, if you add it to your food product, is going to actually create that banana actually flavor, which is going to be more stable than natural flavor of banana. Because what we need is just, we're going to make sure that the banana flavor is going to stay during the shelf life, right? So that structure can be actually made in the lab. That's why they call it synthetic, right? Now let's take a look at the natural one that we think that is natural. So they start with, for example, let's say, for example, they start with banana, right? So they get the banana as a natural and whole fruit. So they extract that specific actually chemical material that is inside the banana, right? They extract it, they purify it up to 99.99%. So what we get out of that, we're gonna get rid of all actually healthy aspects of banana. We get isolated material, and that structure is gonna be the same as the structure that we made in the lab. So basically, they are the same now, because now the source doesn't matter, because we get rid of all the health aspect of whatever we have inside the banana, right? So the structure A, similar to structure A again. Now, and in that case, we're gonna make it stable in the food product, right? So we mix it with another 100 chemicals, preservatives, emulsifiers, to make a finished product. So one, we call it synthetic flavor, the other one we call it natural flavor. And then, because we started from banana for natural one, we can call natural. But both of them contain more than 100 or 150 ingredients in there. All are chemicals. So when you put it in the food product, what you need to label at the back of in the ingredient list is either natural or artificial flavor. Now you can assume that if you buy a product with a couple of actually picture of the banana and other fruits on the front package, and then take a look at the back that, oh, this is banana and this is, for example, natural flavor, and it has only, for example, 3 ingredients: banana, natural flavor, and, for example, something else. You perceive that, oh, that product contains only 3 ingredients. But as a matter of fact, this product contains 150 plus 2 is going to be 152 ingredients. And FDA didn't force them to claim all ingredients that are inside the natural flavor. So I hope that I try to simplify the way that I explain that. So basically, natural flavor and synthetic flavor or artificial flavor, they are the same. They are not one ingredient. They are more than 100 chemical compounds in there. But we know we need to actually convey the message to the customer to just make sure that they don't get any product whatsoever that contains even natural flavors, because we know what's going on in that. And most of the time, even artificial flavor is better than natural flavor. And those terms other terms actually are really, really dangerous. One of them is plant-based. So especially for vegans, they are looking for something that is plant-based, right? So again, the perception is that, oh, since it's plant-based, meaning that we're going to have whole plant in there. So plant-based doesn't equal whole plant, because we might get some plant and then we're going to do extraction, similar to the way that I mentioned now. They're going to extract something which is not going to be representative of the whole plant, but still we can claim it as a plant-based. So make sure always to take a look at ingredient list and don't get deceived by the claims on the front package, and then when you see the actually picture of fruits and vegetables, it doesn't mean anything. So natural, when you see in the natural on the package, doesn't mean anything, because they are the words that we are using, not we, I mean, they are using for deceiving the people, and FDA let them do that. So always take a look at actually ingredient list. Make sure the food contains only whole food ingredients, and all of us know what whole food ingredients are, right? Just name of fruits and vegetables and seeds and legumes, and you know what are them. And then if you have something that is weird and kind of sounds chemical, please, there is better options, and I would be more than happy to help anyone. So in near future, we're going to have actually in our website a recommendation page. So whoever is interested in buying any specific product, but they don't know what is the best alternative and that contain whole food ingredients, we're going to actually provide that information, provide a wide range of products with the different categories, so you can trust us in terms of you don't need to go through the labeling, and then you can just find whatever you need, because they passed through our filtration, and just going to be whole food alternative for any food product that you are looking for. And I'll be in touch with Yoli in future. Whenever we set it up, we can actually you can get access to that.
Okay, I have a question. So when the label says whole plant, whole fruits, should they name the specific, vegetables or fruits or plants that are in the product? Should we see the specific names?
So there are a lot of tricks actually. For example, if you see always take a look at the ingredient list, not anywhere else. Ingredient list is the key part. So there are some tricks. For example, if you're going to look for whole grains, if you see, for example, wheat, right? Mm-hmm. So wheat itself doesn't mean that it's whole wheat. So you should be able to see always whole wheat as an ingredient. But it's not the case for quinoa, right? Because if you see quinoa is whole quinoa, because the industry didn't have or haven't touched yet the quinoa to make a refined version of quinoa, right? So when you see quinoa is whole, but wheat, no. Barley, no. Other whole grains, no. We have So I created a table in one of our previous actually content. They can actually take a look at our content in social media to see that what is the difference, how they can actually identify whole food ingredients. And this is something that when you're going to buy something, and then if you take a look at, if you have a question like the one that you mentioned, if you have a specific question for a specific ingredient and then implemented that knowledge right away when you buy, so you never forget that. And because of that kind of tricky part, and I'm trying to find another example for that. So for example, for sugar, we have more than 30 names for sugar, right?
Mm.
And all are sugar, but you might not know. So what you're going to do for sugar is that always take a look at the nutrition fact. If you see added sugar, they cannot lie to you that part. So if you're going to get rid of all added sugar, and even if you cannot identify them in the ingredient list, take a look at added sugar. We do have actually a post or content which I comprehensively actually explain about what is whole food, how you can identify them, and a lot of tricks for fats and oils. This is very important. So very quickly, because every single day or every week we have to buy an oil for our cooking, for salad, for everything. So please, all of the vegetable oils that are shiny and then they look great in the shelf, they are all refined oil. Mm-hmm. They are refined vegetable oil, but they don't mention on the label. So you see, for example, corn oil, right? Canola oil, soybean oil. So if you see oil itself, it means that they are refined. That's counterintuitive, right? So, but if you have to see, for example, unfiltered, for example, like olive oil, extra virgin olive oil, mm-hmm. right? Or cold press, for example, sunflower oil. So these are the terms that you have to be able to see and detect them in the ingredient list to just make sure that they are whole. Because again, what's happening here is that to increase the shelf stability, to the performance, and also the smoking point and stability for high temperature, we're gonna get rid of a lot of actually healthy and natural antioxidants from the oil, and we're gonna make it better in terms of their performance, but not in terms of the health aspect of that. So always, please make sure you're gonna get extra virgin olive oil, cold press, other source of oil, to just make sure that you're going to get benefit of other natural antioxidants in there.
Great. That's true, especially for oils. I absolutely, I do look for that. Thank you for your answer. And what advice do you have for aspiring scientists who aspire to make a significant impact in the food science industry like you are?
I'm gonna find. What I'm seeing, and based on my previous experience, I think 99% of the food scientists are not holistic food scientists. That's the something that makes me concerned for future. I wish at some point we can find a way that have a better connection between food science and technology and nutrition. This is very, very important, and make sure that, as I mentioned before, we're going to see the value of whole food concept and whole food ingredient, and challenge ourselves and develop technologies that can make a delicious and long shelf life actually food product using whole food ingredients. Mm-hmm. It is possible. The reason that we haven't touched it, as I mentioned before, is because of a lack of demand from the consumer. But hopefully we're going to do from the other side, we're going to raise the awareness. Hopefully we can actually create that demand, and then based on that demand, all of the food technologists and also food companies who are hiring food technologists are going to actually challenge them for making a healthier food product that contains only whole food ingredients, hopefully in near future.
Yes, I absolutely agree. It is possible. We do need to challenge these companies, and we can do that with our pockets, right? Because we're the consumer.
Absolutely. I
Yeah.
mean, first of all, I was reading something that the science behind candy, and that question for me was that as a food technologist, right? I was asking that why we need to have and develop technologies for making better candy, because candy is sugar,
Yeah.
right?
Yes.
Do we really need to just don't we really need to just change our focus to something that is going to be more healthy for us? Why candy? It doesn't make sense for me. But anyway, that was really interesting term for me that a lot of people are trying to develop a technology and science behind actually candy products, which I think in nutritional point of view and holistic point of view, it doesn't make sense at all. But anyway,
Okay. I well I do explore that because have you heard of monk fruit sugar?
monk fruit sugar,
Monk fruit.
yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
And I bake with monk fruit sugar. I
So
find it's a better alternative than your regular
absolutely.
sugar. It's healthier.
So a very short story. Monk fruit, it's whole monk fruit. So I was gonna actually use monk fruit for my product. So I went to the one of the expo. A lot of companies are selling monk fruit, right? Sweetener. And what's happening here is that they extract a specific compound from the whole monk fruit. So I went there. I told them that I'm a food scientist. I'm gonna actually use your product, but not the way that you are refining them. I
Mhm.
need whole monk fruit. And then their reaction was really interesting. I told them that I know that monk fruit has a lot of actually natural antioxidant and other stuff, and I need whole monk fruit. Some of them immediately they told me that no, it doesn't exist. I found actually one of them that they make a powder out of the whole monk fruit, and it's from China. And they told me that okay, we can make it happen for you. And then after a couple of times connecting and communicating with them, that they couldn't actually do it for me because I didn't want a large volume, and again because of the lack of what's called the lack of demand, I couldn't actually buy and use and incorporate them. But it's still, I think the different concentration of them is available in terms of the sweet, making something sweet is not as good as sugar in terms of the flavor profile and mouth feeling, but it still is better than sugar because a smaller amount of that doesn't have any calorie is going to create that sweetness if you can deal with that kind of sweet profile in your mouth. Yeah, that's one of the available options. But there still is a refined version. Hopefully, at some point, we can actually bring the whole food version of that, because this is one of the ingredient that Chinese people have been using for centuries. So what they do is just they crack the whole monk fruit
Mhm.
and then they boil it in the water. And this is one of the holistic approach for treating actually sore throat.
Soccer.
And this is very interesting. And then even I got the sample, and when you put it and boil it in the water, what you can do if you really want to actually drink it in a way that the Chinese people are using, which I think is really beneficial. If you do have actually Chinese supermarket around you, they bring that whole monk fruit actually from China, and you can buy them. Is dried version, crack it, or make a powder out of that, grind it, and then put in your hot water, and then mix it with other stuff like coffee and whatever you take. I think is the best way of using that.
Interesting. Thank you for your insight.
My
All
pleasure.
right. My last question is your personal reflection. So, looking back over your illustrious career, what accomplishment are you most proud of? Share with us and why.
Um, so over the time that you because I um, so when I was doing my master, so my wife and I decided to go to other country for continuation of our PhD. So we went to Malaysia for our PhD. That was a big challenge. we finished that. And after that, we just make a decision to just go another country, which was the United States, to even further continue our education. And my wife either actually did it for her second PhD in the United States. And then I was doing my postdoc. So these are all great achievements. And then a couple of patents and a lot of scientific papers, and being part of the actually big companies. But I think the biggest achievement that I don't know if you can call it achievement, or the biggest decision that we've made was that both of us actually were working in the big companies and the university. And I made a decision to just quit my job for the bigger purpose, which is what I'm doing right now. Yeah, now you can imagine that, for example, you used to get a good salary, but you're not getting that now. But you do have a lot of actually challenges in front of you. It might be perceived as challenge, but for me is opportunity. Mm-hmm. I think the biggest achievement that we've had so far, we've been able to survive, first of all, and also being evolved during that 1.5 or 2 years. That changing our perspective in a way that we are brave enough to have that big vision in our mind and believe on it. We don't hope it, we believe it, we know it, we reach to the knowing part that this is the thing that I'm going to actually spend the rest of my time, my life on it. And it's for bigger purpose. It's not about me, it's about the community and well-being. And this is, I think, the biggest achievement that I've had so far. And I think the process of becoming more for me and my wife is something that we've achieved, and then is growing. And I'm proud of myself and the whole family who are supporting me in that journey, which is a tough journey. But at the same time, whenever I have chance to talk about it, I really don't realize the time. And every single day, I get more energy to talk about it further, because we see that, there is really a gap in the market and like-minded people, and it's going to be for the well-being of the whole community. And I think that's what we are proud of.
Yeah, I can see your passion in all this, and you're
Thank you.
certainly making a difference, in this
Thank you.
industry, and we need more people like you.
Sure.
Who's devoted
Absolutely.
and passionate.
Thank you.
Like you said, when we're pursuing something, you don't hope, you believe in it.
Yep.
You don't just hope, you believe in it with your whole heart, with passion.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
A lot of people, they think that they have to actually see it to believe it.
Yeah.
Right? But I think it's the other way around. We have to believe it to see it.
Exactly. I absolutely agree with you. Anything else you'd like to share with us? Do you have any pamphlet of your product that you'd like to?
I just changed my computer because I'm traveling right now, but
Okay.
I would send you the link of our website, and because they can get all the information regarding the vitamin D in there. And if they have any question regarding any aspect of actually supplement and food products, and if they're going to actually identify something that they can't, or any way that they think that I can be helpful for your group, and please don't hesitate, reach out to me. We'll be more than happy to help, because this is part of my responsibility to raise the awareness and helping people get the best product. And we have something that always keep telling everyone that swap it, don't stop it. So if you feel bad for using some specific food product that you really wanted to change it, but you didn't have chance to do that, I think for most of the food products that you are currently using, if they are healthy, that's fine. If they are not, and we're trying to find alternative, we should be able to find a healthy alternative for that specific product for you. And so please leverage me in any way you can. We'll be more than happy to contribute.
Thank you, Dr. Amir. I will certainly continue to share your information in my groups. And
absolutely,
I appreciate you taking you time out of your busy schedule to be here with us and share your knowledge, your insights, and educating us more and raising awareness.
Sure, my pleasure.
Yeah,
So thank you so much. Go ahead.
Thank you. And I'm Yoli. I'm aging healthy advocate, nutrition coach, herbalist, chef. Thank you for being here with us, and I appreciate your time again.
Thank you so much again, Yoli, for providing that opportunity, and thank you, guys, all the group members for listening. And I hope, I not hope, I know that we can actually have more and more of this transparency and knowledge and demand for the whole actually food and supplement industry in the near future. So let's work together and help each other to make it happen.
Absolutely. We have collaboration.
Awesome.
That's how we get it done, right?
Absolutely.
Yes.
Thank you so much, guys.
Thank you. Have a blessed day. Health and blessings
Yep.
to you all.
Sure.
Thank you.
Have a nice day.